You may have heard that back in 2019, Wahoo actually bought out Speedplay pedals, and we haven't really heard or seen anything about that since. And today's the day they're releasing their new pedal system. It's still called Speedplay, it just has Wahoo branding on it, and there's some really nice updates that they've done from the old system, even though it's a very similar system. So let's jump in and have a look at them. So firstly, let's start with a quick unboxing, and you can instantly tell this is a Wahoo product as it comes in that very Wahoo-esque cardboard box style packaging. So we've got the stainless steel Zero set here, and instantly you can just tell they look so clean and so smart compared to basically every other pedal system out there. I mean, just look at it. Woo. So initially you can tell that metal surface plate on either side has got a new design, and that instantly you can tell is just going to be a more durable design, as the old pedal got pretty scuffed up on the outside quite quickly. Then underneath the pedals you've got a packet of bolts, you've got your two cleat systems in there, and then you've also got a couple of spacers there to help fit all sorts of shoes perfectly, which is a nice touch. And then you've got product information and a little startup guide in there too. So straight away you can see that it keeps that same fundamental double-sided clipless pedal system which everyone raves about with Speedplay. So that's really nice to see that it's basically going to keep that same functionality. You might remember with the old Speedplay pedals that maintenance was a bit of a task with them, and you had to pump them with grease quite regularly to keep them running well, as well as keeping them as long as possible. But you'll notice that Phillip head screw that you used to have to unscrew to pump the grease through is now being sealed off, as are the bearings themselves. So that makes this new pedal a zero maintenance bearing pedal, which is a really nice touch and a really nice update on the old pedal. And with those two new faceplate designs, which are going to give you increased durability, again, that makes this whole pedal being a lot easier to work with, and it should work for a lot longer. And as they're quite expensive, you want them to last as long as possible. The pedals are now cross-compatible with the cleats, which is really nice to see. So we'll talk about the different pedals that they offer, but they're all cross-compatible, which is a really nice touch. So that's the main updates that Wahoo have brought to the Speedplay system, and I really like it, and it's made a good system just that little bit better. But when I heard Wahoo bought out Speedplay pedals, I was half expecting to bring out some sort of power pedal to link directly to their bike computers. So what do you reckon the chances are that they'll be bringing something like that out in the near future? So let's have a look at the rest of the pedal system, and here we've got the cleat. It looks pretty similar to what we saw in the old Speedplay pedal, and they're black now, which I think is just really smart as opposed to that yellow colour that they used to be. And that cleat cover has that same golf ball aerodynamic effect, as well as the whole pedal being a really aerodynamic pedal, which might save you a watt or two. And we all know every watt counts, but more importantly, for a road cleat system, they're actually really quite good and comfortable to walk around in. The only time they're not particularly good is if you're using them in a muddy situation. And let's face it, most of us on a road bike don't like to get in that situation too often. But if you do end up winging in a bush, for example, and you get mud in the system there, it can be a little bit more awkward to bash that out to get the cleat to then clip in with the pedal properly again. But it is just a small thing, and it only really is a problem if you're using it in proper dirty conditions. And I'd say that the easy double-sided click-in function that these pedals offer more than makes up for that in the long run. So the actual Speedplay system runs off a 4-bolt system, the same as what we saw in the old pedal, and that's not quite the same as the traditional 3-bolt that we see in road cleats, although they come with this little converter that makes it compatible with all road shoes, even though some road shoes are also specific to running Speedplay pedals, which is just a nice touch if they are. And even with that 3mm added converter, this system's got one of the lowest, if not the lowest, stack heights out there. So that's going to give you a really nice feel when you're on the bike and a really nice power transfer. So not only is this a really easy to use double-sided pedal that has got enhanced durability and less maintenance than what we saw in the last pedal, but it's actually a great system for really dialing in a really precise bike fit, as well as it being an absolute lifesaver for people with dodgy knees. So from a fitting perspective, it has a load of fore and aft adjustability on the base plate, which is the kind of forward and backward movement that you have for the spindle on the ball of your foot. And that's one axis of adjustability from the base plate. And then from the mid cleat plate, you've got left and right adjustability that you can see there, which is basically how far your foot's going to sit away from the cranks. And then you've got the float adjustability, which in layman terms is basically the amount of ankle wiggle you've got, or more technically, the degrees of freedom that you've got in the pedal before it unclips. And this float can be adjusted anywhere from 15 to 0 degrees, basically in any sort of way that you want to give you the perfect custom fit for your riding style. And for example, if you've got dodgy knees that don't run in complete alignment, and by no means am I a professional bike fitter, but this degree of flexibility that you have in the pedal can really help with that. So see a professional bike fitter if you need more information on that. And lastly, what's great about Speedplay pedals, and this hasn't changed since the last set, is the fact that they give you really good cornering clearance. And for lots of us out there, we're not going to be pedaling hard, round, sharp corners and getting any pedal strikes. But if you're a crit racer, for example, and you're putting the power down everywhere possible, even in those sharp corners, then the difference in having a pedal like this could be the difference in crashing and having a huge pile up, which is the last thing we all want. Okay, so that's basically all the functionality and everything new with the new Wahoo pedal system. Let's get the old trusty kitchen scales out and see how much they weigh. So here we've got the Speedplay Aero set in the stainless steel version, which is probably the most popular set out there. So we turn the scales on, zero them out. So the pedals themselves weigh 220 grams. And then the cleats alone, if you're lucky enough to have Speedplay compatible shoes, come out at 305 grams. But you're also going to have to add this set of screws, which makes it come out at just over 310 grams. And then if you're running the system with any shoes with the converters, it comes out at about 360 grams, but then you've got to add a set of these screws as well, which then makes it come out at about 370 grams. So that's a quick roundup on the Aero stainless steel option, but they will be offering a few other versions as well. So they're making the Aero version like they did before, which has basically got that golf ball effect on one side of the pedal there to give you a super plush aerodynamic shape for the quickest pedal out there. They're also making a Nano one, which is the most expensive one and the lightest one, and it comes with a titanium spindle. And they'll also be making a comp pedal that comes with an easier tension cleat. So what do you reckon to the new Wahoo offering of Speedplay pedals? If you've got any questions about the new system, drop them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.